Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. You are in for a treat tonight. Go ahead and share the broadcast. If you have some single friends, you may have some that may be engaged. They might, be dating someone or have been dating someone for a while. So go ahead and share the broadcast with them because it's going to be good. What are we talking about? We're talking about, is it even worth it? So for those who don't know me, my name is Daryl Brock, and I am the host of the Daryl Brock TV show, where this show is all about love, it's about marriage, and it's about relationships. So tonight, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty, and we're going to be talking about, is it even worth it? So when you say, is it even worth it, what are we talking about? We're talking about as it relates to a relationship. I mean, just think about it. Think about some of the relationships that you might have been in the past if you're not married, and you spent so much time in that relationship. You gave it your all. And you gave it some extra, more than your all. And then you had another relationship, and the same thing. You just continue to give it your all. But if every one of those relationships, they no longer exist. So we're going to find out tonight, is it even worth it? When do you walk away from a relationship? When do you say, I'm out? I gotta go. When do you say that? Okay. For an example, you know how when you are thinking about somebody you want to date, and then you got all these imaginations in your head of what you want them to look like and what you want them to do and all that kind of stuff, right? Okay. So what happens when you have those what I call guidelines? You got those guidelines, and then you meet a guy, and three of those guidelines he don't even meet. But you know what? You find yourself still dating that guy. Well, I got a chance to just ask, Sean real live. He's out of Port Arthur. And I just want him to pick one of these topics. And the one he picked was, is it even worth it? So hold on a minute. Let me tell them where that we are on this side. Hold on a minute, guys. 1 second. Let me share this and they'll know that we are on this side. So we're gonna find out why in the world do we continue to stay in these relationships like they're gonna get better. Yeah, we're gonna keep it real tonight. Sometimes we just have an ideal in our head that it's gonna get better. We just got this, it's not a fantasy, but is it gonna get better? Right. So you find yourself, you're arguing 3 times a month, not just like a little disagreement, but arguing, and then you say, well, we've been together 4 or 5 years. Okay, but you've been together 4 and 5 years, but you got the same old stuff going on. So do you think that you might need to walk away? Do you think that you might say, you know what? Is this even worth it? Why am I saying that? Because just to say that you are in a relationship or that you're dating somebody or that you've been with them a long time, but y'all argue and y'all fuss more than y'all get along. If you add up the times that you have great times and times that you are bickering or going through something, is it even worth it? That's what we're talking about. Is it even worth staying in a relationship just to say you're in a relationship? Well, he's my daddy's mama. How you say that? Mama's baby? Well, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You got a kid by him. How about that? Okay. So you got a child by him. Just because you have a child by somebody does not mean that that relationship is going to work. Do we want it to work? Absolutely. Absolutely, without a doubt. Yes, we do want it to work. We want it to go from a relationship all the way into marriage. But when it's not going that way now, based on the individual, because he's got a choice. So when it's not going that way, why we don't walk away? What is keeping us from walking away saying this is not it? It's not even worth it. So you know what? I'll give about 2 more minutes, and I'm gonna put my input on it before I give you Sean real life, so he can actually, tell you what his thoughts on it. So some of my thoughts were on here. I had wrote down on here. Is it gonna help me? Is this relationship going to help or further what your purpose or your goals is. The relationship you're in right now, or you just watch it because you're gonna tell your girlfriend or you're gonna tell your guy friend. Okay, so this is what I'm asking you. Is the relationship that you're in right now, is it gonna further and make you better? Or is it gonna just keep frustrating you? Just frustrating you, right? So you gotta decide, is that what you want in a relationship? You can always walk away. Why? Because we get the choice to walk away. So we're thinking tonight about individual. So individually, you have to, check with yourself and say, is this really worth it? And sometimes if I know it's not, why am I still in it? Why am I still staying in this relationship when it's really frustrating? Yeah, sometimes it's just frustrating. And you look up and the guy he just stopped calling you. He just stopped calling you. You don't even know what happened. He just stopped calling you. And then you're more frustrated and you want to find out, why he stopped calling you. Well, sometimes he's not man enough to say, I am. So he's giving you these indications, and you're supposed to pick up on it. Oh, maybe he don't want to be with me anymore. He's giving you clues and you're not picking up on it. So when you don't pick up on the clues when someone stops calling you, and then after a while, something happens, and then they start calling you or you call them and you get them, right? Because you didn't pick up the clue, now you're going to be in a relationship because in his mind, he's thinking, well, I can do her this way. Same way with the guy. I can do him this way. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put Sean on. He's going to give us some tidbits of what about relationship. And then we're going to come back and we're going to deal with some things to do what? To make it better. Hold on, guys. Let's see if we can get him on. Hold on. Let's see if we can get his video on it. Hold on. Uh-huh. Trying to get up. I told Sean, I just don't know your website. They have to go to there's a link on my page. If they go to the Daryl and Brock TV show, there's a link on my page. Hold on over a minute, guys. Uh-huh. Let's see if we can see what Sean has to say. Hold on a moment. Let me see what Sean has to say. Let me take him all the way back.
So, I was given the topic. And the topic that I was given, that I chose actually, was it all worth it as it pertains to relationships, right? Many of us have posed the question throughout life, maybe towards the end, or when we were trying to figure out if we need to stay or go in a relationship, right? Is any of this all worth it? Is the crying all worth it? Is spending money all worth it? Is the time and affection, the adoration, the admiration, the love, was it all worth being in this specific situation or whatever situation it is? Most times people only ask that question when it doesn't go well.
That was Sean Real Live, Port Arthur. Now, some of the things that he said on there, and I've never met him, but some of the things he said were very, very crucial. One of the things that he said is it worth all the crying? He said, is it worth all the spending the money? He said, in the end, I hated myself and them for it. Then he said, if your highs, you weigh your highs and your lows out. But sometimes what happens is we're not putting in everything that we have. And we want someone else to put in all that they have. So we want to put in 80%, right? So they want to put in, I don't know, 30, 40, I don't know. But in the end, what you can see is you wasted a whole bunch of time. That's basically what this whole call is, this show is for tonight, is at the end of the day, you have wasted a whole bunch of time that, like signals. Have you ever seen signals, right? Like for an example, you're driving somewhere and then they've got a detour ahead. So you already know there's a detour ahead, right? But in a relationship, you don't know there's a detour ahead. But there are signs that a person is giving you to let you know, hey, you're not my all. I'm not going to give you my all. You got to call it what it is. Sometimes male and female, they're critical, they're selfish, they're ambitious. Sometimes they're arrogant. Sometimes they're users. And sometimes they're just great. But you don't know which one has come along until you begin to look at the signs and don't look over them. So what does that mean? Okay, like for instance, if someone never compliments you, but he say he like you, but he doesn't compliment you, but you always compliment, give him compliments and stuff like that, that's a sign. That's a sign. If you have to continue to ask him, are you going to open my door? Or are we going to go out anywhere else? Are we going to always have to go to your house and watch a movie? And I don't know where it's going to end up after that. That's a sign. Let me tell you, because just for the females, like if you're important to a guy, he is going to chase you and do whatever it takes to get you. Now, hold on. Now, once he gets you, you're going to have to decide whether or not you're going to start accepting less. So that's when you decide, oh, okay, no, dude, you did all that to get me. And now that you have me and we've got in a committed relationship, now what happened here? What happened? That's when you're looking, you see it. So then you got to decide, do I want to continue to put up with this? And that's when is it worth it? When those signs come up and are showing you that all of a sudden you're not as important to him as you thought you were, those are signs. Now I'm gonna talk to the guys for just a minute. Because for you guys, when you're dating, and that's another show. But anyway, I'm just throwing a little tidbit. When you're dating somebody, and y'all are dating, but y'all don't have a commitment, like you my main squeeze and all of that. But y'all are dating. Okay. When you decide that you don't want to date her no more, you don't even have you can't even pick up the phone and say, you know what, it's just not gonna work out. I think I just want to be by myself. I don't think I'm gonna be with you. You won't even do that. This is what you stop calling. You act like you're always busy. And then this is what you say. You say, well, I didn't want to hurt their feelings. Well, it is going to hurt their feelings a whole lot less if you go ahead and you just be truthful about it. Just say, hey, you mean, I want you to start doing it. Tell your homeboy. Tell the people you work with. Tell the people that you're around. Man, dude, hey, when you decide you don't want to be with that girl no more, you ain't making a commitment, pick up the phone and tell her. Yes, pick up the phone and tell her. Now I'm going to go back to the ladies. Okay, ladies, same thing. If he used to call you all the time, sending you flowers, calling you in the morning, talking about good morning, hey, have a great day, calling you, I'm just thinking about you, or calling you at night. I just wanted my voice to be the last one you heard tonight, right? It's going on, real good. 6 months into relationship, you looking at your phone. He called that morning, and you're like, what happened? Then he called you late in the evening. Oh, baby, I forgot to call. I'm just tired. Okay, now wait a minute. Something has happened between the first time this relationship started going on and now we're in the 6 months. So ladies, this is what you do. You better call the shots at that particular point, because the same way that he got you is the same way he needs to keep you. Why? Because you decide how you want a man to treat you. And if you decide how you want him to treat you, he either gonna treat you that way or he's gonna walk away. Yes. Yes. Why? Because you know how it's kind of like you start dating somebody, you only showing all your good signs. You know, the good sides, good signs, good sides. That's all you're seeing. Okay. But there's some other sides going on. You need to be able to see those sides and see if you still want to be in a relationship with this guy. So if you're dating someone and you find out that all of a sudden communication is bad when y'all disagree, you go to hollering, screaming, and yelling, and hitting on stuff, it's gonna walk away. Because your communication ain't even good. Oh, okay, no. This is what happened. The next day, oh, babe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Okay. Ladies, that's the time that you open up your mouth and say, well, let me tell you this is what you're not going to do anymore. So that I saw, that's the last time that I want to see that. Am I understood? Because if you don't make it known to a man is not going to do it. Men are going to do whatever a woman allows them to do. Hear me clearly. If he wants you, he's going to do whatever it takes to get you. He's going to do whatever it takes to keep you. Now, I'm not saying he's not gaining something. Yeah, he's gaining something. He's gaining a queen, right? So the same that he gives out, you know, he's going to get the same back. But ladies, sometimes you got to walk away because you're giving out more than what you're giving, and then you're wasting time on somebody else that probably would love to treat you like a queen, would love to take you out, would love to be your friend. But you say, well, now I'm talking to Fred. Now I'm you at the gas station, somebody will say, no, I'm talking to Fred. Fred ain't gave you no ring. You're not even engaged. Now you just spent all that time telling different guys, no, I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to somebody. You talking to somebody who has not even told you that we got a commitment. You just are dating somebody. It's a difference. You got to walk away. If you are dating a guy and you've been dating him 6 months and that guy has not said, hey, baby, it's just me and you, you my only. And then you tell him that, yeah, you my only too, right? Okay. You still dating after 6 months? Come on now. He know whether he wants to be with you or not, or if he just waiting to see if somebody else gonna come along. You got to keep it real. So what are you waiting on? Well, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna keep waiting. What you waiting on? I'm not saying for you to get married. That's not what I'm saying. Because you got plenty of time to get married. Let me tell you why. Because once you get married, that's it. You can't be taking no other girl out. You can't be going nowhere. You can't have sex with him. You know, you can't be doing none of that. Whoever you marry, that's it. So don't be trying to rush into a marriage when you really realize that's gonna be it. Nobody else, just him. So then you're not so keen on saying, yeah, I'm waiting on a husband. No. You can get married anytime. Make sure you are ready and you fully understand what you're getting into. And make sure he understands that. But I think that with this relationship thing, I think if we begin to show ourselves who we really are, what I mean by that? You know how sometimes you're in situations and you'll take things when you're, okay, here's a good one. So maybe you lost your job or something like that, and maybe you get unemployment. So your finances are not what it used to be. So you talking to Sam, okay? So Sam, you know, he makes good money and stuff like that, but he got some issues that you really, you know, some of them issues you just don't really want to deal with. But because Sam got some money and he can take care of some things to help you out, then you begin to tolerate the things that Sam's doing, and then you want to blame it on Sam and tell your girlfriend, let's go out, I need to talk. No, because of the situation you were in, you allowed Sam into your life based on the situation, and you knew he had issues. So don't let your temporary assignment in your relationship, what's going on, cause you to take a man that you know he got issues that you don't want to deal with. Let me tell you, You can help them grow up. Now I be talking the truth to the male and the female. I'm just neutral on both sides. I'm just gonna tell it like it is, the truth. Okay. So a lot of things that women, you know, we as women take or whatever, have taken or whatever that is, it's because we did it. And we want to blame the guy. But at the end of the day, let me tell you something. We're accountable for ourselves. So while we saying, girl, let me tell you what he did. No, we ought to be saying, girl, let me tell you what I allowed him to do. And let me tell you what I continue to allow him to do. And let me tell you that I'm not taking that no more. Right? So if he wants you, and you get queen, girl, you was boo, you was everything, then he'll make some changes. He ain't gonna make no changes because you're not making him change. You don't think you're worth him making the change. Yeah, you are worth it. So if you gotta cry, get you some tissue, cry. Don't have a, you know, tell girls come over. You just need to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. You may cry for 2 or 3 months, but I'm telling you, it's better than crying 10 years down the line. So what am I saying? You're gonna have to get up in the morning. You're gonna have to decide what your worth is. And what is your worth? Your worth is to be treated like you want to be treated. You want to be happy, right? You want to have a purpose. You got some goals. Don't lay your goals down the things that you want to do. Talking about all the good men in jail. Ain't all the good men is not in no jail. They're not. That's not true. No, the issue is we're going to teach the men how to treat us. So now I'm going to go back to the men now, because one of the things he said was about spending money. Okay. So men, when you decide that you want to spend money, you know, on a young lady or whatever, just because you're spending money on a lady, I hope you don't think that they're supposed to go to bed with you. I mean, they're not still doing that. I hope not. Are they? Are y'all? Like, is that what's going on? Is that what you're spending money for? And then is that why you stop? I'm just talking to the men tonight. I just need to know. When you decide to take a young lady out and you take her to the movie, you take her to dinner, you send her flowers or whatever, is your goal in mind to be her friend and get to know her? You know, y'all got good conversations, y'all have a good time, y'all are intellectual and all of that? Or is your whole goal is because you have been trained that if I take her out 3 times, I know she knows what's going to happen the 4th time? I'm just asking. I want to know what I want to know, right? Because if that's what it is, ladies, y'all need to walk away. You just need to walk away. And guys, you know what? Sometimes you got to decide you're going to be a boy or you're going to be a man. You can't be a boy in your 40s and 50s. By the time you get 28, you be man up at that particular time. You be trying to find out where you go, what you drink, where you go. By the time you're spending money on this and that frivolous money. No. That's the time to have some money in the bank. That's the time to be investing some of your money. That's not the time to try to figure out how many women you can get to work. Oh, you want to know why? Okay, let me tell you why. Because you do all that foolishness. I'm talking to guys now. You do all that foolish in your 20s, you know, in your 30s, in your 40s. And then by the time you get 49 or 50, you like, yeah, man, no, I don't do that stuff no more. You meet these women, you like, oh, man, she just be tripping, right? Because she was one of the women that when different men were in their 20s and 30s and 40s and they was doing that foolishness stuff, right? She was one of the women that got hurt in that. And all of a sudden now, you know, you done grew up, right? But she is a product of being hurt by men or yourself, because that's what you did earlier. So why am I saying that? Okay, men, if you got young boys, you know, you got nephews, then you need to teach them the value of a woman and how to treat a woman. That's what you need to do. Not showing them how many girlfriends you can get and how many phone numbers in your contact. That's not what it's about. You need to teach them the value of life, and you need to teach them it's okay to be a friend with a girl. Just don't try to lead her on. What does lead somebody on? You know, when they think they the only one because you said they the only one, it's just me and you. And you know good well it ain't just you and her. You know that ain't true. That ain't true. You still giving your phone number out, right? She may go on the store, you outside, and you give somebody a number. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So right now, I don't know what situation that you might be in, or whoever may hear this replay, right? But for just a few moments, I'm going to talk to the single women before I talk to the married folk. If you are single, you're going to have to decide, I'm okay being single. Okay, let me help y'all. Okay. Let me help y'all. So, I've been married 37 years, 36 years, 36 years last year. So 37 this year. Okay. So when I met my husband, right, whatever, I was not looking for a man. I was not trying to date a man. I was not. That was not what I was looking for, right? I didn't know the Lord, none of that. I was not looking for that. So by the time he come around trying to talk, he just another guy trying to talk, right? But I had already made up my mind. Listen to me. I already made up my mind. I'm gonna date somebody when I want to date somebody, and I don't feel like dating nobody right now. Right? You gotta decide that. You gotta be okay being single. I know sometimes we talking about, girl, when you gonna get married, you ain't married yet. It's okay being single. Me and my girlfriend, we hung out and stuff like that. We had a great time. I was not interested in trying to find a mate. I wasn't interested. But hold on now. But one of the things that I did know that if I wanted to be with somebody, I could. That's what you need to know. You need to know that you make the decision. That you don't have to just take anybody fly by night that's coming along, time, but you cute, you built, you and all that. Anybody got time for that? You can look in the mirror at yourself and know you cute. Come on now. That ain't gonna be making you blush. Yeah. No. You call yourself cute. You call yourself smart. You call yourself intellectual. You call yourself that. Okay, so he had other ideas. He had other ulterior motives. Anyway, make a long story short, that's who I married that many years ago. But I said all that to say, all I was trying to say is, as a single woman, you need to be okay with being single. It's okay. As a matter of fact, it's fun. It's fun. I enjoyed being single when I was single. I enjoy being married now that I'm married. Would I ever go back to single? No, I ain't doing that. No, we ain't doing no. Right? But I'm saying, this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you know that you're okay being single, that you ain't just gotta have a man, you don't just have to have a man. Now, I'm not saying that women do not want to have a healthy relationship. They don't want to get married, and build something together. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, you need to know they need to keep on moving because you're okay being single. Okay? All right. So now for the married people. All right. Is it worth it? Is it even worth it? So, when you got married and everything like that, there's your friend. He made every time he said something, you was grinning and going on. Y'all on the phone. Y'all talking so long, you done fell asleep. Talking so long, he done fell asleep. Y'all spend all that time talking and communicating and everything like that. And then you look up, you're getting married 7 years in a relationship. You don't call him, he don't call you. What's going on? What happened? We just stop communicating. He used to say little funny stuff, joke at you about different stuff about maybe your hair, you had I don't know, maybe you had a tattoo. I don't know how now, but anyway, maybe you had something and he would joke with you about it. And now he joking with you about it. You all mad and upset. What happened? Things that used to be so funny and now you all serious. What happened with that? How you get there, right? So before you get married, you should be friends. And before you get married, you should be friends without being sexual. Yes. Because when you bring sex into the relationship before friendship, then you got to mess. Then you got to rebuild. I'm just keeping it real. You got to rebuild. So I said that to say that when you get married, now that you're married, okay, why come you all serious all the time now? Why come he play too much? Why come she play too much? What happened with that? Why he get on your nerve and why she get on your nerve? When they used to get on your nerve, what happened? Oh, okay. So now you only blame the other person like you ain't did nothing wrong. Is that what we doing? No. You have to be accountable for your own self. I'm accountable for how I treat my husband. He's accountable for how he treats me, right? I'm accountable for my response. You understand what I'm saying? So when you want to say you're married, right? This is what I'm trying to say. Help Jesus. Okay. Don't be married just to be married. Don't stay married to be unhappily married without trying to fix it. So you need to go back and find out these pieces that are missing. You know, what happened at this situation, and what happened at this situation, and what happened at this situation. Why? I'm gonna tell you. You know how somebody they've been married maybe 10, 15, 20 years or whatever, or maybe they get a divorce, I don't know. Then all of a sudden they say, yeah, girl, I'm getting married again. So they call you, you know, they're planning this big old wedding, you know, this is a second marriage. Okay, so then 7 months into it, a year into it, they tell me, yeah, Fred never treated me like this, and it's the best thing, and blah, 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 blah. And they can remember all them different points in their lives when things happen in their other marriage. Well, what you don't realize is that you had years to come up with some stuff. You've only been married to this guy a short amount of time. If you didn't fix what was broken in all those years, it's going to show up. So just because you meet somebody else and you get married, and you know the first 2 or 3 years it's just great, well, just look back. The other marriage, the first 2 or 3 years was great too. So it's the same thing. If you don't fix what was broken, and what's broken, we can only fix who? We can only fix ourselves. So whatever part that you had to play in that, those are the changes that you need to make. Those are changes you need to make. Now, if you was on my other broadcast, right, I'm gonna give you a whole bunch of scriptures. But the broadcast I'm on right now, I am giving wisdom, straight wisdom, right? And a lot of that wisdom that we have is from God. We didn't realize it. So I'm saying is, you think it's gonna be great when you marry somebody else and all that because Fred didn't do it right and all that kind of stuff? You're gonna look up, it's gonna be the same old way, right? Why am I saying that? Okay. If you, let's say you've been married 12 years. So you got 12 years where you can say different things happen. If you just want to pull out different things in those 12 years that happened that you didn't like, that bothered you and stuff, you can pull those out at any given time when you're in a disagreement. So when you get married for the second time, okay, you've been married 2 or 3 years, you don't have 12 years of stuff that you can put in those 3 years. So you're thinking, oh, wow, this is just great. This is just roses. This is what I wanted in my last marriage. I didn't have it. No, you haven't even built 12 years of a relationship that you can compare. You can't compare 3 years of a marriage to 12 years. It ain't going to work. You can't compare 3 years of marriage to a marriage that was 20 years. Why? Because at any given time, something has happened that would cause you to have some hurt, some pain, some bitterness that you might not have let go, or some unforgiveness. So is it worth staying? It is worth staying if you are willing to do the work. If he's willing to do the work, yes, it's always worth it. It is always worth it. When you throw in the towel, you're going to throw in the towel and you're going to think, well, I'm going to get married later on one day. Okay, the same stuff that's going on is going to show itself. So how do I get off on that? Let me tell you why. Because when you are married, then it's a different mindset. You do the things that actually make a good marriage. So when that door is open, like if you're at my house, if I come into the house, I say, hey, if he comes into the house, he said, hey, right? Now, he may not know where I am in the house. I may not know where he is, but I know he's come to that house, right? So since he's coming to the house, then the house ought to have peace, right? No, I ain't gonna have no peace because I'm mad. Okay, so when you get through being mad, okay, after that, by the time he hits that door, right, it ought to be some peace there. Why? Because you create the peace. Women, we create the atmosphere in our homes. I know you think the men do, but they don't. We create the atmosphere for the better or for the worse in our homes, right? So when we create a place of peace, he can't wait to get home. It ain't no peace. He's driving 5 blocks and he got to stop by Bud House and Fred house and his mama house and his uncle house and his brother house, and then he gonna get to the house at 9 o'clock at night. Because he ain't trying to come home quick. What do you want to come home for? You mad? You disgruntled? You fussing about something? Okay, if you fussing about it, let's figure out a way to fix it. But in the fixing it, when you decide that you want to communicate with your spouse, I'm talking to married people now, when you decide that you want to communicate with your spouse about an issue, please say your issue first. Say your issue first. Say the things that he's been doing is great. And then you bring up things that you need to deal with. And so whatever you bring up, stay with that. Don't bring up 5 other things. So if your issue is, let's say y'all decide to get on a budget, right? And maybe he didn't keep the budget, or something happened with the budget, or maybe he was supposed to take the kids to football practice. He started, then he stopped. Okay. So when you're talking about that, right, just talk about that. If there's some other issues, wait and talk about those later. So don't compile all of those. If someone would ask me one of the keys to having a successful marriage, it is that when there is an issue, there's no more other issues brought up, even if there are issues. So if our issue was okay, let's say we decide, okay, we're gonna get rid of all the credit cards. So we get rid of credit card, we cut them all up. Okay, now we're gonna use no credit card. Okay, so if our issue was, okay, but you still went shopping with your driver, like, because you ain't got to have a card. Okay, but you still did, right? Okay, so when we talk about it, we're gonna talk about that, right? We're not gonna talk about you don't take the trash out and you don't mow the yard. Okay, because this is what happens. You bring that one specific subject up, and now you're compiling it with 2 more, right? Then you're gonna disagree wrongly, and then you haven't resolved anything. So we're gonna deal with just this issue right here that we agreed on. Okay, the other 2 issues, we are going to talk about those at another time. So if you train each other not to bring up any other issues when you're talking about that one, it will help you get rid of that one. It will, because you got 3 issues, and then you're not gonna resolve them, and then you're gonna sweep them under the rug, and they're gonna come back up. They're gonna come back in 5 years. They'll come back in 10 years. Any issue that is a big issue in a marriage that is not resolved, it does not go away. It does not go away when you have kids. No, it doesn't. What happened is you'll redirect yourself as far as involvement with the kids, and he will, but that issue is gonna show up because those kids gonna leave home. They're gonna leave home. They're not gonna always be there. It's just gonna be you and him. So that should be the best of the time. So what am I saying? Just go back. You can always make some changes. Always make changes. Now, as I get ready to close, I'm talking about love, right? So when you say that you're in love with somebody, right? You meet somebody, you say that you're in love with that person. Are you saying you're in love with how they're built? Are you in love with what they do? Okay. Are you talking about, when you say love, what are you talking about? Because if you can define love for yourself, that will help you with the pattern of men that you're attracting. Now, I know that's kind of heavy, but that's okay. You will begin to attract the type of man that you really are. So if you're confident, if you know who you are, if you know you ain't gonna take no mess, you know you're gonna say, dude, boy, get the step. I ain't got time for that foolishness. If you know who you are and where you're going and what you're doing, right? That's what you're gonna attract, right? If you got low self-esteem, you don't feel good about yourself, you've been verbally abused, sexually abused, physically abused, all of that stuff, you're gonna attract what we call familiar spirits, right? So you're attracting what you are. Okay, so I'm gonna help you. Have you ever seen somebody or know somebody that they was in an abusive relationship, they left that, then they got another abusive relationship, then they got another abusive relationship, right? Okay. None of that's good, and I'm not trying to fault anybody, because if someone hits you, right, You couldn't control them hitting you, and maybe you didn't see it coming, and maybe you stayed for whatever reason you did. I don't know, right? But this is what I'm saying is that is a pattern. So when you meet guys and you got a history of, I love him, blah, 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 but you got a history of being cheated on, right? Check your self-worth and find out where that is. Because in your self-worth, that dude know, baby, you cheat if you want to. You be a goner, right? And I'm not saying you should forgive them, forgive somebody, they made a mistake, you forgive them, you pray for them, y'all come up with a restoration plan and y'all move forward. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, that's all I'm just saying. I'm saying, right? Because by the same token, the same guy, the girl that the guy would hit, that guy can be somebody else, marry somebody else. He will never put his hands on her. So what am I saying? Find out why you are attracting the type of men that you are attracting. Find out why. And then fix it. Fix whatever that is. Fix whatever that is causing that attraction, to come, right? How do you fix it? Well, you fix it by finding out, why am I okay with just because somebody said I'm cute, I built nice, or I'm smart? Why does that just give me all goosebumps? Yeah, I'm in love. Why? No, you're that anyway. You didn't need him to tell you that. You didn't need somebody to meet you to tell you that. You should have already known that before. Well, everybody don't think they're cute. Everybody was born cute. I don't care what y'all say. Don't listen to my kids. They don't know no better, right? Because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. And I have met some women that I just thought were just a beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But they was the meanest, honorary, not, I don't want to be around you. Because to me, beauty is on the inside and it radiates on the outside. So just because you look at a guy and you think he's handsome and everything like that, what's on the inside of him? So tonight you got to make some decisions. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Look at all the signs that you have had in past relationships, or even the one that you're in. Look at those past relationships. Have you seen where you wasted 5 years with him, and 4 years with him, and 4 years with him, and 7 years with him, and you're not with any of them? That's a sign. What's the sign? The sign is letting you know that don't get in a relationship and say you committed if you're not ready to be. As a single woman, you can date without making a commitment with somebody. If you want to make a commitment, then you can, right? And I know a lot of times when women are single, and this is just my opinion, on this part. This is just my opinion. You can, talk with counselors. I don't know. But if you're single, that means that you are not married. So you can be single in a committed relationship. You can be engaged. You can be promised. You can be dating, right? So if you're single and there's no ring on your finger and there's no commitment, that doesn't mean that you have to just talk to one guy. That's my opinion. And that's how I raise my girls. Okay. Because what happens is when you're single with no commitment, no ring or anything like that, you spend all your time with this one guy. Okay. And then you look up and you're not even with that guy no more. And you wasted all these times. And when different guys came by to talk to you, you told them no. Now listen to me. I need to be very clear. If you are in a committed relationship and you have told the guy, right, it's just me and you, that's different, right? But stop saying that. Y'all saying that too fast. You single. You just met that guy. Y'all are just friends. You don't have to make a commitment with a guy. Well, I might lose him. So lose him. If he wants you, he won't be lost. But you're making that decision so fast that you don't allow someone else to come into your life that might have been better. And then it makes it harder to get over that individual because you gave him your everything. You gave him your everything without even a promise. So tonight we're talking about, is it even worth it? Should I stay or should I go? So think about some of the relationship that you're in. And if you really want it to work, and this ain't for married folk now. Y'all, I ain't talking y'all right now. And you really want it to work, tell the guy or the girl what the issue is and what the changes that they need to make. And if they're willing to make them, then go ahead. Go ahead with the relationship. But if you've told them over and over again and you've not seen any changes, they're not gonna, either she ain't gonna change or he ain't gonna change. Okay, so walk away. It's okay to walk away. And then at the end of the day, you got to remember that God is going to allow you to make the choice. He's going to show you different things about this guy, and then you're going to have to decide, is that okay for you? If it's okay for you, it's okay for God. I wish my girl Danielle Book is on her, but she's not. So all these times that you're meeting these guys and stuff like that, the Holy Spirit is talking to you. He don't care who you choose. It's totally up to you. But he's giving you some guidelines. He's showing you some stuff about this individual, even if you're a guy and it's a girl. God is showing you some things about him. And now is it okay? Are you going to be okay with that? And if you're okay with it, okay. Whatever you allow, I'm going to allow. Okay? So if you're not okay, don't be okay. Don't get okay. Right? Don't get okay. Because you're only going to live this life once. And you want to live it based on the purpose that you're supposed to be on the earth. You want to live it to the fullness. And hopefully the God that you are going to connect with, that he is good for your purpose. He's good for your goals. You know what I'm saying? He's good for your dreams. And if you see he ain't not the one out for how nice he is. No. He probably gonna change. So what am I saying tonight? Just think about should I stay or should I go? Well, next Tuesday, I'll be bringing on my husband, and he's going to talk about what a man feels in a marriage and what a man goes through. So next week, you want to get anybody you know that's married, get the men on, and he's going to talk to them about what a man feels in a marriage or what a man goes through. Maybe some things that he doesn't say anything about. So it's very good to hear it from both sides, from the male's perspective and the woman's perspective, because at the end of the day, can we make society better? Can we make the world better? Can we make marriage better? Yes. If we start off with better relationships, with better friendships, that goes into better relationships. Those relationships go into better marriages. Those marriages go into better families. Those families go into raising children, right? And those children have a godly example of what a marriage looks like, how a woman's supposed to be treated, how a man's supposed to treat a woman, right? So they have all of those examples, and so they take those examples even into the workplace, and we have a better society. That's why my show is all about love. It's about marriage. It's about relationship. And it is okay to tell someone this is just not going to work. You ain't got to be mean and ugly and hateful about it. No, this is just not going to work. Let them know it's just not going to work. Period. It's okay. Especially you men, because y'all don't be saying that. Y'all just stop calling, stop doing the stuff you want to, and then you so glad that she quit you because you didn't want to quit her. All kind of fools. Stop that. You know, grow up. Everybody got time for that. No, we got too much to do on the earth. We ain't got time for that. We're trying to build things, right? We're trying to bring change to the world. We ain't got time for that, right? So tonight, if there is a comment or something that you want to comment about, if you want to send us an email about a topic that you want to talk about, that you want to see on the show, or even if you want to be on the show, you can send an email to Darolyn, DAROLYN at DAROLYN Brock.com. Darolyn at DarolynBrock.com. So again, the email is Darolyn, DAROLYN at Darolyn, DAROLYN Brock, BROCK.com. So send an email, because you know what? sometimes, I might miss a point or something that needed to be said, or sometimes you may not have enough time to just break up so many things. But on this one, I know it was a big one, as far as do I walk away, and there were some more things that we could have covered, which we are going to cover, but we're going to put them on, we're going to put them under do I walk away gracefully? But I wanted to make sure that you understood that, should you stay or should you go? You need to decide, should you go or should you stay? And you should be okay with, if a guy tells you that he don't want this relationship, it doesn't mean it was you. You got to understand that. That does not mean it was you, right? In the same way, if the girl tells, you tell the young man, this is just not going to work, I'm moving on. That doesn't mean it had anything to do with the guy. It's just that where you were going, he was just not the right person. Where he was going, she was just not the right person. That way you ain't got to worry about your confidence all messed up and all this kind of stuff. No, it had nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, if more men just went ahead and said that, more ladies wouldn't think that something was wrong with them or something happened. What happened, right? Yeah, it had nothing to do with the lady. It really and truly was just the guy, period. So what we're going to do, we're going to start being open and honest in relationships. And then we are going to have to be able to be open and honest enough to receive it without being upset, being mad, and being disgruntled. So what am I saying? So if you're in a relationship and the guy decides that it's not going to work, be okay with that, right? I'm not going to say you won't cry. You may have to cry, but be okay with that. Same way if the lady tells, she tells the guy, this is just not working, right? It's just not working, right? So don't be disgruntled about it. Just say it's not working. So again, I so enjoyed you guys tonight. So I want you to know that beyond the shadow of a doubt, that we're going to make sure that we're going to keep talking about love, marriage, and relations until we make some changes. We're going to get some changes made so that when our children or our children's children are growing up, they don't have to go back and revisit these talks. It could be talks that we never had. Some men have never had a mentor. They never had a father figure in their life. They never had anybody sit them down and show them how to be head of the household. And they want to try to be head of the household, they don't know how. And they're not doing really good at it. Well, they didn't have an example for that. So we're going to find out the change that we need to make so that we can be that example to them, right? And even if you don't have any kids, you're going to be an example to somebody else's child. You can be an example. You can be an example to somebody else. So when we do that, then everybody is going to be okay with who they are. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's a show about love, marriage, and relationships. I will see you guys on next Tuesday. Have a good night. Bye-bye.